Here in India, we've all seen a powerful example of transformation with UPI. It started out as something very simple, public infrastructure. Really just a set of digital rails. But what happened next? Well, that was remarkable. Private companies began building new applications right on top of those rails. And that's what created this vibrant ecosystem that changed how all of us handle our money.
So, if you look back, the infrastructure itself was built in 2016. After that, innovators saw the potential and used these open rails to create brand new applications. And soon enough, a massive payments ecosystem was born. This pattern, public infrastructure followed by private innovation, it's become a really powerful model for change.
And this brings us to a really important question. Could this same model work for something much, much more complex than payments? Could we apply it to healthcare claims? That's the core idea we're going to explore together in this explainer.
So let's start with the foundation for this potential shift. It's called the National Health Claim Exchange, or NHCX for short. Now, it's really important to be clear about what NHCX is, and maybe more importantly, what it is not. It's not a company, and it doesn't process claims itself. The best way to think of it is as a set of digital rails. It's like a common language designed for just one purpose, to standardize how hospitals and insurers exchange information.
This simple diagram really shows the core idea. Before NHCX, a hospital had to build and manage separate connections to many different insurers. It was a mess. Now, it only needs to connect once to the NHCX hub, and through that single connection, it can reach every single insurer on the network. This connect once, reach everyone idea is a really elegant solution to a very complicated problem.
So what is that problem exactly? Well, for years, the health insurance industry has been operating with what you might call islands of automation. Let's take a closer look at what that actually means.
So, on one side, you have hospitals, and they've got their own digital billing systems. On the other side, insurers have their own online portals. And then, in the middle, you have other players, all with their own separate workflows. The critical point here is that these systems, they just don't talk to each other. And this creates so much friction. It leads to tons of manual data entry, long delays, and really high administrative costs for everybody involved.
NHCX is designed to be a standardized bridge between these islands. But it doesn't just solve an old problem. It actually creates a foundation for entirely new kinds of solutions. So let's explore where that new value might come from.
The first and most immediate opportunity is in building the connections themselves. You can think of these as the picks and shovels companies. They're the ones creating the software that helps hospitals and insurers easily plug into the NHCX network. They handle all the technical complexity so that healthcare providers can just focus on their patients. Now, once that data can flow freely in a standard format, a second opportunity starts to emerge, and that is revenue cycle automation. With predictable, clean data, new tools can be built to help hospitals manage their cash flow much more effectively. They can help reduce claim denials and automate all that administrative work that, right now, is still being done by hand.
And this leads us to a third, and perhaps the largest, opportunity of all. For the very first time, we could have standardized health data at a national scale. Just think about that. This could fuel incredible new tools for analytics, for fraud detection, and maybe even new kinds of financial products for both hospitals and patients. All of it built on a foundation of trusted, standardized information.
It's probably a good idea to pause here and really think about the limits of that UPI comparison. The infrastructure model is definitely similar, but the underlying challenge? It's very, very different. A payment is usually a simple standard transaction. A healthcare claim, on the other hand, is incredibly complex. It's filled with clinical data, all sorts of different procedures, and just layers of intricate rules. So the path for NHCX, it's going to be its own unique journey.
And because this path is so different, there are some significant risks that could slow things down. The potential is absolutely there, but success is not a guarantee.
There are 3 risks that really stand out. First, there's adoption. A network like this is only as valuable as the number of hospitals and insurers who actually join it. Second is regulation. The rules around health data are always changing, and that creates uncertainty. And third is complexity. If the technical side of this isn't handled really well, it could erode trust in the entire system.
The timing of all this is also really important. It seems like we're in a critical window right now. The infrastructure is live, but the market itself is not yet mature. So the next 2 to 3 years, this could be the period where the real foundations for this new ecosystem are built.
So in the end, what we're watching is an ecosystem in the making. But its future, that's not yet a certainty. Public infrastructure like NHCX, it creates the possibility for change.
The final outcome, though, that's going to depend on the innovators and the industry leaders who actually choose to build on top of that new foundation.